Hi to you all, Greener Man here. Fiat Ducato X250, 130 multi-jet engine, 2.3 is it? Yeah, I think it is. And today's job, the van's 2015. It's what is it? 2014. Van's 2014. I've had it 5 years, just over 5.5 years. I didn't get any service history with it, so it may not have had the cam belt done, and it's now done 180 something kilometers, 1,000 kilometers, 186,000 kilometers. So rather than take a chance, I thought I'd better get it done now. And also the weather's still not bad here in September, so before it gets worse and I have to lie about on the floor outside in the rain, I'll do it while the weather's half decent. So yeah, you've probably seen other videos about this. This is just not a how-to, this is just me doing it, and if you're interested and you see something that might help you, then that's great, that's the idea. So yeah, not a lot of room inside these when you look at them. That's the top of the engine, and down there is where the timing belt cover is, and the timing belt. So on first looks it's quite compact, but I've looked at other videos, I've looked at information on the internet, and we can make a bit of space in this area. And there's different people, some people take out the part of the bumper, some people take out the inner wing, well, everybody takes out the inner wing. So we'll just see. I'm going to give it a go, and there's two chances. Yeah, so we're going to go from there. So as I'll take bits off, I'll tell you what I've done, and hopefully it'll help you. Okay, first job is getting the headlight out. There's a screw in there which looks like that, the Torx, and there's a screw that looks like that with the Torx in the end, and that's in there. And then you pull the headlight forward and it comes out. A bit of jiggling, and you can see the connector there. I'm assuming that twists, or maybe it doesn't. Right, I'll come back to you when I've worked this out. Okay, so to get the lamp, the connector off the back of the light, you get a screwdriver in that bit that's back here, and you pull it and it levers it off, and it releases it and it comes off. So then the headlight is free. Straight away, got a lot more space. There's the cover for the timing belt. Okay, so I'll come back to you in a bit. Okay, back on the Ducato. Jacked it up, lock the jack off. 3-ton axle stand under the chassis. Got the spare, the wheel I've taken off under there just in case anything happens to fall. That leaves us a space now to get into here. Got to take out this plastic cover, so we're going to whiz these screws out. See where we are with those. There's a screw there, I think. Probably going to be one joining that. So we've got to get the bottom cover off and this inside cover off, and see what we find. Covers are out. Bit of a reminder to jet wash under the wheels. Arches a bit more. A lot of mud under there. So yeah, there was those screws around this plastic bit there. In the middle there was a plastic nut which was a 10mm, the rest of screws, and on the bottom one there's fixings around the lower skirt of the front bumper, and then there's one here too, and then there was a 15mm bolt in there. So that's us. I can see a bit better now. I've put some freeing agent, sprayed it on these two in case they've got to come out, and also on these two up here if we have to take out the reservoir. I've removed the top plastic cover off the engine. It was held on a pull-up clip here, pull-up clip there, and the end one it pulls to the left. Before you do that you have to unclip these two pipes. If anybody knows, and you can see that it's dry and then there's a load of oily around there, if anybody knows what might be causing that, I'd be interested to hear. So again, there we are, that's the cover. So we're starting to get more and more visibility now. I have sprayed some release agents onto the 3 bolts for the engine mount, and also onto the 3 studs for that bracket for the coolant, because I don't know if these have got to come out. Other people have said these have got to come out, and that's got to come out, because you've got to take that out to get to the bottom of this. So we'll see. But up to now it's looking quite good. What I've realised I haven't bought is some new Jubilee clips for this intercooler pipe, because everybody's saying that's got to come out. It probably would make it a bit easier, but they're all single use crimped on Jubilee clips like this one, so it's not been off before, I don't think. So I might have to cut them off and pick up some new ones from somewhere, or order some. I don't know what size they are. Okay, so that's what we're doing so far. Next job I think is probably that intercooler pipe. Just feel quite tight to get off. Yeah, so we'll see. I might end up taking these 4 bolts out of this too, which go right through. Where are we? Can we see? We can't see. You're going to have to get the torch. But yeah, they go right through, so I think we can. Or do they? I think some do. Or maybe spray some release agent in the back where the threads are on those anyway, and on the heads of the bolts, so overnight it can soak in. But that's what we're going to be tackling next, I think, after the reservoirs come out at the top. We undo this. I've put some penetrating oil on that as well to leave overnight, then we can take that bracket out of the way then, I think. Oh, I think there's another one there. Looks like it. Yeah, that's the last one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 holding this in place, and it should pull off the bottom of that as well. And that will have to tie somewhere in situ if we can, so we don't damage these pipes, because there's not much play in those, as you can see. They're fairly straight. We'll have to unclip these using our gentle skills of persuasion and 2 hands. So yeah, and then they can go out of the way, and then that can come off the bottom of the reservoir and tuck out of the way, and then we should be able to get to the cover and, more importantly, to the engine mountings, which we'll undo when we've got a jack under it, and then we can tilt the engine down a bit so we can get to the crank pulley. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap up now because it's getting on a bit. It's time for my dinner, and we'll come back to it in the morning. Okay guys, so we need to drain off the fluid, coolant. I've never done this before. I think there's a little bleed drain plug at the bottom in the rad, but we'll have a look in a minute. So I'm taking this off. So there's some Torx along here, a little Torx bit, and also some under there. So I've took all those out. Again, not done this before. I think these plugs have to come out, and then maybe this has to come off as well. We'll have a look in a minute. Back again. Update is, although I've done all the screws along the bottom of here and some of the screws inside here, and I've even gone around here and undone some of these under here, it's just I've undone these. They just don't want to come off, so I'm not bothering with that. I can't even be certain what size the drain plug is, or even if it's going to break when I try and open it. So I've ended up cutting the hose clip off down here and pulling off the hose. You see it? There, the one just underneath at the back. And to my surprise, fluid's yellow, even though I bought 10 litres of pink yesterday. So that's going to have to go back and change. I thought it was pink because this looked a bit pinky, but just shows you can't tell, can you? So yeah, I don't know if the yellow was right or the pink was right or whatever, but anyway, that's where I'm up to. So I've just dropped that, opened up the little bleed screw there, and opened up the cap to let it drain out. It's all gone, that's it now. So I'm just looking at sizes to take off the engine mount, and it's an 18mm, which was surprising. I didn't expect that. But yeah, there's 3 18mm bolts there. I've got an extension bar and a breaker bar on it. I'm going to loosen them and then I can ratchet them down. But before I do that, I want to get the jack under the sump and support the engine. So that's the next job. So I don't know if you can see there, this washer bottle's out to give me space to get my hand round to steady the back of the socket. And I've just loosened these with the breaker bar, cracked them, and now they're on the ratchet and they're undoing fairly easily. But before I cracked them, I got a jack underneath, and I think the jack might be failing me actually. The seals might have gone in the jack. I'll check that before I go any further. But yeah, the idea is get a jack under it, a piece of wood to protect the sump, and just support the engine. But I think that jack is duff. Not used it for a bit, so I'll have to watch. It's solid now. Come back to it in a few minutes and see how we're doing, because I don't want that dropping gradually as I'm doing the job. So what's my next move? I might have to get the scissor jack out from inside the van to do it. Come back to you. So while I'm waiting to see if the jack is actually losing pressure and dropping. I thought I'd still keep it on the bolts, which it is, the 3 engine mount bolts, and I'll undo all these, which I believe are captive. So they're like a 10mm, so I'll go around and take all those out as much as I can. Come back to you in a bit. Okay, left it sort of half an hour or so. As predicted, that trolley jack, it's got a splinter, is no longer any good. It's losing pressure, so I need to get rid of that and put something in that's a bit more secure. I've got my trolley jack under the actual van, the big one. The only other thing I've got is a scissor jack out of the van under the passenger seat. It's got this like nodule thing on top, so we'll have to put a hole or some sort of recess in the bottom of that piece of wood so that it goes flat on top of the jack, and then we'll have to jack it with that. Back to you in a bit. I've got the scissor jack under it, as you can see. Well, I hope you can see. Under the 3 bolts there, the 3 bolt heads where the socket is, they're all lifted, so that means that the weight is on the jack underneath, and you can see a gap halfway down where the block splits. Excuse me, where the block splits, you can see a gap. That's how much I've dropped it so far. So they're fairly loose now, those bolts. I don't know how long they are, but I've loosened all these off that I can see from up here, and there's one at the bottom that I can't get to just at the moment until I lower the engine a bit more perhaps, and it is, where's it gone? That one there, which I can't get to because I think it's a combination of the side of the van being there and the jockey pulley. I think it's a jockey pulley in the way. So maybe when the engine drops a bit, I'll be able to see that a bit better. And then we can take the aircon belt off. So I'm going to loosen the 3 bolts off at the top a bit more, lower it down on the scissor jack, and then see if we can get the this belt off here. That's the setup I've got with the jack. So I had to notch out at the bottom to allow for the bobble on top of the jack, and I've just got the weight on that there. So it'll be probably easier to control the engine going down and up off that as well. A bit more gradual than a trolley jack. Sometimes they can drop quite suddenly, can't they? So yeah, so I'm going to lower the engine down a bit more and see if we can get the belt off. Okay, what do we think? Should we try it that? I think so. loose now, those 4. Good. Right then, so should we try and take the jockey off? Sorry, the tension off. Yeah, we'll get some weight on it and see if we can drop the belt off. I don't know how easy that's going to be. Okay, let's work this out. So it needs to go that way, I think. Yeah, that's it. Wow. I think I'll need a 15 and a bar on that. Can we get that in? Not quite. Can we? Maybe. Oh no. That's because I've got the reducer on it, I think. No. Smaller bar. Oh, 15. Oh, sorry. There we go. There's that same situation. Same situation. Yeah, looks like it's a spanner after all. Let's see. Trick is here, it's not to pinch your fingers. Let's have a quick look before we take it right off, which way around it goes. So I've just took it off that one. Look from the top, see if it's anything. No, it isn't. Wow, that is difficult to try and see where it's going. See if I can get the camera. That's pretty tricky. Let me see. So I think we're alright now. I think I know where we're going with that. We'll look at the condition of this one now, shall we? And see what we're dealing with. Right, well, it looks highly polished to me. It's got a ridge worn in it. So much so, all the writing has gone off it. So look on the inside. Can you see that? Nice big cracks. Yeah, my guess is this van's what, 2014 I think it is. I think these are the original belts. And the V's, if you look, some of the V's have got flats on. Some of the peaks, see little feet starting on the right side, there's flats to those, and there's sharper points on this side, and also there's wear on the side of the belt there. See where the reinforcing's coming through, and on that side too. So I'll check the jockeys and things when I take them off, make sure they're okay. But glad I'm changing that belt as well. just needs a bit of a spin. And now we get a look at the bottom of the belt. I'm going to whiz out this 10mm. That should be, I think that's one, I'm not sure. They're not super tight because they're only a plastic case, aren't they? Okay. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? A lot of gunk up there. Yeah, that goes. That plastic case goes behind there. Not sure about the second one. Tensioner it goes behind. The jockey, I'm not sure. That's an Allen screw. Or do we just take the pulley off? I think we just take the pulley off. 15. Where have you gone? No. I think it'll come off now. So I'll take it off with the Allen screw. Right. Allen keys. Too big. Next one down. Oh, that feels promising. Feels promising. Because it's a socket, I think that might be in the way. Give it a go. Now we're going to get in there now. There isn't much room, is there? Oh, be alright, try the breaker bar. Not just. Just too bulky. Right, okay. Ratchet. Ratchet coming up. There we go. Let's have a go at that. Oh yes. Now then, before I take it out too far and get the ratchet head stuck. Now it's finger tight. Oops. Set the juggler. It's great how it can work, I feel, and even though you can't see something, you can sort of imagine what it's doing. He says as he drops it on the floor. Come on, what are we doing now? Don't wobble on me. There we go. Little bug. Oh, try and get on my GoPro. I was just saying about how you can work without. Well, if I touch only and I drop it on the floor. There we go. It's coming out now. Here we go. Wow, it's a long screw too. If we can just do that. See how this fish it? I think it might be, you know. Now where's... It feels like it's fixed there. That's out. Big build up of crud around here. Oh, I think I can feel perhaps another bolt. Yeah, behind that jockey. Do we think that's a 15? Quite possibly. Metric spanner. See if we can get this out as well. Tea break yet? Can't get that on there, can we? I'll have to use my strength of 1,000 men. Oh dear, that's tight. Try that. There we go. So I'm undoing the jockey. Right, so we've got that one bolt, I think, still in the cam belt cover, which is there. Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Is it? Yep. That's it. It's like recessed into the edge of the cover, so you can't, well, you can do it with your fingers, which would be easier. I'll spin it around on this. I don't know if you'll be able to listen to this. I did say whether I'll just fast forward, do it at double speed or something, because it's a bit boring. I'm excited to see this belt, actually, see the condition of it, because I think it's been on for 10 years. And it's done what is it, 180 something thousand kilometres. So it's well time to do it. There we go. You can just grip it with the end of your fingers. Still tough. This cover's going to need a bit of cleaning. There we go, come on. Wow, come on. Is that loose now? Yeah. Okay, so that all looks very loose. I think it might be sticking on this. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if that lip is sticking on the compressor. How's in there? I don't know if I've got to loosen that. There's every chance in there. Knowing the way it's been so far, yeah, I think that might have to be loosened. It feels loose down here. What's going on at the top now? If we're clear on the top. Right, I'll show you quickly. So, because I've left the reservoir in, because I've left these two reservoirs in, there's still a coolant hose there, which was, if you can imagine, the case was here, it's trapping it. So now I've pulled that off, that is now free. Obviously what we've got is engine mounting. Looks okay. Yeah, so what we've got is that affair, so I think it might be sticking. Let's get a torch. Oh yeah, this needs charging up. There's a lot of dust in there, I think. Yeah, I need to charge my torch as well. So yeah, I think it's stuck on that compressor at the bottom. Top appears to be free. Just stuck there, I think. Doesn't even. There you go. Mistake. I was undoing these 4 bolts to try and move the compressor away here, and it was actually just it's the bracket that's trapping it, I think. So I need to find a way of getting it over that. These 4 bolts don't need to be undone. Excuse me. Right, just to prove that it does go past that bracket without undoing it. See, it's not undone, it's still fastened. What you've got to do is you've got to put it back flat so it's against the vehicle, the body of the engine, and then you just get a screw. There'll be a little gap there, and you can just lift it over. Just. It's a good job there's a bit of give in it, otherwise you'd have to loosen that, which is a whole new thing. So I'm hoping when this comes forward, there we go. Oh, that's good. So that's been puzzling me for a bit. So it does go past that bracket. You just have to give it a bit of persuasion when it's flat. If it's tilted, it won't do it for some reason. I think it's because this comes down lower, but if it's flat up, it lifts this as high as it can go, and then you just slightly with a little screwdriver, not give it too much. Right, I'm going to jiggle this now and get it out. I've tried a good while going both that way up and out with this. I think the best chance, because it's so wide across here, is coming out the bottom, and to do that I'm going to have to take this compressor out of the way just slightly to allow it to drop down. I think then we'll get it out okay. So I'm going to continue loosening these and take the weight of it. Don't know if it'll rest on that wood or not, we'll see how much play we've got in it. It might rest just while or I can tie it. So that's what I'm going to do now. Come back to you. I may have to bring the engine back up again to clear. I think it's stuck a little bit on the water pump housing. So I'm going to bring it back up, and then I think we'll be able to free it off. Coming up, or? Yeah. Yeah, it's cover dropping, I think, as I'm bringing it up. Wow, that's really quite annoying. Stuck on a little piece here. Water pump housing. Up a bit more. And I don't know if you can see, but the time marker is at the bottom of this one, about just before 6. Yeah, it's there. That's it. So yeah, so we need to turn that till it's about
12 o'clock, and the little hole that's in the arm there should line up around here, and we need to get the bottom one. Let's see what the timing marks are on the bottom. Got to get that in position. Yeah, I wonder if those little centre pot marks the timing position, and then is there a position on the actual case, engine case? So I'm laying spiky stuff here. Don't think they're the marks. Oh, there we go, there's a mark. That one. Little line there. I don't know where the marks are on the actual on the belt, but I'll turn it a few times and see what we can see. So I'm going to put a, what was it, a 19 on there, turn the engine around a few times and just see if we can locate any marks, and then I'll lock it up, and then we need to undo the centre bolt on that diesel pump while the belt's on, so something's holding it, and then we'll do it, come back to you after. Just a quick point I've noticed, I'm not sure how wide the belt is and how wide the pulley is, but you can see that that's not central on the pulley, but I can't feel if it's overhanging on the other side, so that'll be interesting to see if we've got a dirty mark, or if that's where the brown's been coming from. Has this belt been rubbing on the inside face of the housing? But we shall see. It's in. Pop down here. Always handy to have a little magnetic torch. The screen keeps going off so I can't see. Always handy to have a little magnetic torch, stick it somewhere, you get some light. So let's see. Pop you under the drill. You see? Yeah. Right then. So, torques. Up there. Wow, that's tight. Have to give it some rice. Oof. That must have been thread locked in, I guess. There we go. Out she comes. It's had some thread lock in that. I'll get the big pin. Now this one has got sort of flats on the end, and this slidey piece. So we'll put it in. I think that's in yet. It's hard to do when you don't really know what you're looking for. So put 19 back on. Give it a little bit of a waggle. Oh, that felt like go right in then. And that piece screws. Yeah, I felt it go right in. So I kept pressure on that, waggled it a bit, and now that's gone right in, and that's tight, that won't come out. So that's good. So we've locked the edit, cut. We've locked the crank, and we've locked at the top the cam. Now there's two more of these pins which you put on in the camshaft at the top. I don't think people have been bothering putting them in. But I believe that's one of the holes. And if I move this pipe, the other one is very hard to get to. It's very hard to see even. It's under that yellow tape, I think. And so that's going to be tricky to get in. So I don't know if we need to do that. I'll make a call on that later. Just use the big breaker bar with 22. Before you take the belt off, it's locked the diesel pump, so I've just cracked that nut to loosen it, and I can take it off now with a ratchet. Okay, so looking at this kit for locking for doing the cam belt, they're those two stubby ones. I don't know what that one's for. But these two, as I said, are to lock the two camshafts. But when you look at it, that's one camshaft, the other one's got this on the end. We're only taking the belt off. We've locked this, and they're tied with a chain at the other side. So as long as this pulley doesn't move, both camshafts should be in the same position. So we don't need to put those other two in. So we've got this one in. I've got the pin at the bottom holding the crank, so that's sufficient. So now we're going to let the tension off the belt and take the belt off, and the tensioner off, and the jockey. So take a good look at how it's routed. If you remember, we've already cracked off the nut on the diesel pump, so you need to take a good look how it's routed, and before you take it all off. So it's not very good. Anyway, so we're going to release that and take the tension off by using a 10mm Allen key on the tensioner. See if I can get this fixed up for you. just broke my ratchet. Can't get you in. What have I done? Tensioner is out. the cam belt we've just taken out. The ink's sort of worn on it. You can see the profile of the teeth showing on the back of the belt. That's another timing, that's the timing mark. And the ink, you can see it's worn. That arrows are facing towards the front of the van, the radiator, for reference. But yeah, there's another timing mark. Don't look bad underneath. Can't see any cracking. And the profile, see a little bit of wear. Don't know. No, maybe it's supposed to be like that. Between the teeth there's like a little ridge on the end of the teeth. So yeah, so that's good. Belt's out now. Get the new one, compare the two. So the old belt was a 178. New belt is 178, 30 wide. So that's good. So that looks promising. And then if we take the timing marks, two timing marks together there, and then we pull the belt through. And then I got the wrong two timing marks, put that one there. So those timing marks are together. Pull the belt through. And those timing marks, you can barely see the old one, are right. So I think we've got the right kit, so that's good. Incidentally, the teeth on the new one, we've got the little indentation in as well on top of the teeth. Same as that one. So that's good. Let's get the water pump off now. Got to get the drive pulley off the diesel pump. So I cracked the nut earlier. So there's a dull sort of side. And a shiny side to the nut, shiny side goes in. Is there a spacer or a washer? There's a washer on that. I can't feel it with my gloves on. Yep. Now that's on a taper shaft. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You can put 3 8mm bolts in, tighten them up and it'll push the pulley off, or you could use a pulley draw. I'm not sure which one we're going to do just yet. Shouldn't take much to come off. And just in case I couldn't find any 8mm bolts, I did buy this pulley kit from the company I got the cam belt kit from, and it's a pulley drawer that can be used on different size pulleys. bit overkill really for this, but I haven't got any 8mm bolts at the moment, so yeah. So your big bolt goes down the middle and you can lock in the one depending what the spacings are on the openings inside the pulley. So we'll see if this works. Can't see if anything's moving yet. Oh, there we go, we're off. I went with an unsurely crack. So bring you back up. So that's what you do. Just wind those in and they press against the face of the pump until it rises up the shaft and it's tapered. So I need that clean up before we put it back on. An important tool of the job, cup of tea, cheers. Sometimes with these jobs you've not got to be in a rush. You've just got to take it step by step, especially if you've not done it before. You're not entirely confident what you're doing. You just got to be a bit careful. You don't mess it up. And I'm doing this over the course of what, 3 or 4 days, just doing a few hours every day, well 3 hours every day probably, just taking my time. So it's good to have some tea. I think I never got a quote for the job, but when I started looking on the internet what it might cost, I think the quotes were about, I don't know, about €1,200, something like that. I paid up to now around the €200 mark for the bits. That was the Gates water pump, the belt kit with new tensioner and new pulley. That's the new water pump, incidentally. So got that ready to pop the bolts in as I take them out one by one, so we don't forget which ones go where. Yeah, so it's a Gates kit completely, so it's a Gates pump, it says on it. Yeah, so that's ready to get the next bit off, because I think we can take the pump off. Yeah, we can. Yeah, so that's it. So this is how you save money doing your own repairs, and let's hope it works. Next part of the job is removing that tensioner. Should be fairly easy, and then we can, because you can see the water pump goes behind it, and we're going to replace the tensioner anyway. It's what size have we got? 13mm. I said tensioner, it's just a jockey pulley, but on the back of it there's like this spacer piece held on with a bit of an O-ring, I think there. I don't know if the new one's got that, we'll have to check. And if not, put that one on. So now the pump casing is free to come out. So I think they're all 13mm bolts, except for the little one on the top corner there, and that's 10, I think. Right, I've got all the bolts out of the old water pump now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, and they are all 13, and that is a 10. A couple of these, that one I think it was that one, was super tight all the way out. They were fighting all the way out, and I was a bit concerned about not shearing them off, really. You got to be really careful, haven't you? I don't know if somebody perhaps tell me in the comments, is that normal? Perhaps if it was done by Fiat and they've not been out before, is that like a thing? They put like loads of thread lock on or something? I don't know. But a lot of them were okay, and you got them so far and then they were fine. Just like no effort coming out with a turning the socket with your hand, and then some of them were fighting all the way. The threads look okay, but like that one was really tough coming out. So I hope they go back in okay. Yeah, so as you can see, it's a gates pump. So I'm going to take the old one out now. How do we get into this now? There's no way you can lever it. Wow. One bolt left. Didn't see it. Fatal mistake. There's me socket gone right. There's one bolt left. See if we can get it with this one. Thought it shouldn't be as tight as that. Well, this isn't going to be one of those that fight all the way. So there's 10 bolts altogether. Wow. Goodness me. I don't like it when bolts are like this. it's going a bit easier now. Just hope we can get the socket off after. Still get it off. Okay. Now what? Can't get it off. Do you know? Yeah, it's off. Right. Okay. Still in there. So there's 10 bolts, there's 9 13mm and there's 1 10. Oh, there we go, we know that for next time. And they've got washers on these too. Any more have I missed while we're here? No, I believe that's it. So that should come off now. Well, it should come off. Doesn't want to, but it should do. Let's see. It's weird, you know. Weird, man. I don't know why it's not coming out. I think that hole is good for loosening. Is it loose on the diesel pump? There you go. How's that diesel pump? Hopefully not tapping it. Put the nut back on that. Let's see if that'll tap out. everything appears to be out except for the diesel pump. Right. Thought that would have been such a tight fit. Should be free. Piece of wood. Or if that's how they are, and that too has got a flat and sort of a radius front on it, and that was stuck to the engine, and that's the one that fits over that bit and into the recess on the engine. So that's the situation so far. I'm going to just double check nothing's damaged in there from me wielding chisels and span and hammers around, and I'll give it a clean up, and then I'll be looking to put that back in. But before I do that, I'm going to get a bit of sandpaper, and just clean up the front corners of that diesel pump where it goes through the hole, because I don't want to pick up on that. So just about to put the O-rings on to the water pump, and the new kit has these three in. That which is quite misshapen, and I hope it will stay flat when I put the pump on. Another black one and a grey one. And although they look similar, I think that's a different kind of rubber, and that's because of the diesel, whereas these are the water side, so that's why they're a softer rubber. The diesel I think has that on. So also I noticed that that one came off the water side, and that one came off around the pump. Obviously there wasn't one on the diesel pump, but we're going to put one on because the new kit's got one in. So what I'm going to do, when I'm doing my pools and I'm doing O-rings on the pools and pumps, I put a bit of silicone grease on just to help it locate and to help it seat and slide properly onto the mounting. I've cleaned up the diesel pump leading edge with a piece of sandpaper, just to take any lumps and bumps out of it. We're going to mount the grey O-ring on there with a bit of silicone, and then we're going to mount the other ones on here. You can get silicone grease like this from swimming pool shops. This is exactly what it's for. I'm going to put it on there. Make sure it's in properly. This I've got my doubts about because it's not even circular. I'm hoping it'll fit on okay. So same thing with this one. Just cover it all the way around with silicone. Pop it on. Make sure it goes in. A little bit of silicone, stick it down. Don't want it coming off when we're actually putting the water pump in place. Any excess off. Right, I've just noticed, and I haven't done this, but it might have an effect on the pump seating properly. See a little lump there. See it? Standing proud. So that'll stop that face from seating properly. So check for that. I'm just going to file it off now. So I've actually sanded that down now. Hope you can see. It's not proud at all. And run your nail over it, and it's not picking up on anything. So that's flat. I also ran around the face that it makes to with this, just to take off any green rust or black oxidization, just to make sure that we're starting clean again, and then wiped it down with a paper towel. Let's see if we can get this in. That doesn't feel like it wants to seat. Let's get the pump in place. How's that looking? I think we're stuck on the diesel pump, which was my worry. It doesn't want to go back far enough. up, but that little thing is causing us. Oh, no, I might have to dress that up a bit more. It's hard to see if we're going on square here as well. Oh, careful. Right, now come on, why aren't you going in? There we go. That's that bit in. Have you noticed how you need 3 sets of hands when you're doing jobs like this? Oof. Come on. Little thing. Use that diesel pump. Yeah. Could do with a clamp or something, really. Just to help it in. Didn't think it was that badly marked after I cleaned it up. Oh, maybe it was. Oh. Come out again. I don't want to put pressure on the water pump, that's the problem. It looks like it'll go in, that diesel pump. Oh. I think right, what's stopping us? We're not lined up there now. Oh dear. It's hard to see if we're going on square. Goodness me. It looks like it's going on. I don't know. Oh. Right, come on. It's the age-old thing, isn't it, with this? You're struggling for space to get in as well. I think that diesel pump needs cleaning up a little bit more. Which is a shame. That's what you get for putting bolts in, you see. Right. I have to clean it up. Fortunately, at least the O-ring stayed in place. That's a good thing. Right then. More sanding. See if we can get that O-ring out now. Crazy how that tolerance is like that, and they'll let you just jack the thing off with bolts. Right, let's try it again and see how we get on. A nice wipe down. Some silicone. Okay. Silicone on the O-ring. That's in. The other two seem good. Yep, that's it. Put a little bit extra on that. Okay. Right, now let's work out how we get this. Okay. 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 You're going to sit there while I get underneath. Okay. So, here we are again. You can't get your hands in. There's the hole. Right, that's got to come up. This is ridiculous. I know it's been said before, but it is. Right, that's in there. That diesel pump does not want to go in. That was so horrible coming out as well. I think I've got a clamp that'd fit in there. Oh, goodness me. See if I've got a clamp that'd work on that. I don't know if this will fit in. In the world of clamps, this really isn't a serious clamp, but I don't want to put too much pressure on it. It may be enough just to locate it. If I can get it in. I don't think I will be able to. No, just wanted something because I don't know if at that angle my grip's strong enough to. No, it's not going to work, is it? Or will it go in that way? One clamp, don't fail me now. You know, this is absolutely ludicrous. No. Freaking hell. This is not on at all. It's just not having it. Oh dear. I'll end up with it in my face. Oh dear. What a stupid design this is. I never had this problem on the Sprinter. Oh dear. Well, I don't know what to suggest. I honestly don't. To bring it up to speed, I've been polishing the hell out of the leading edge on that. You can see the dimples where the bolts have been. That's caused me so many problems. I couldn't get the new one on. Couldn't. Give it a little bit of force, and I've seen it still picking up on those three dints. So I've just sanded it on the leading edge. The leading edge doesn't really matter. I think the reason that seal is, the O-ring is grey, is if the seals go on the diesel pump, you could end up with diesel leaching forward, and it might get into the cam belt area and cause all sorts of issues. So I think that's why there's that seal on the diesel pump. Okay, I'll see if I can get it on now. I'll come back to you. And you're having to cam belt and having to mess about with that. Okay, see what happens. Where have you gone? There. A little one. Tightening all these up just till they're hand tight. Now they've got a torque setting. Well, I'll just do them hand tight for now. I'm not putting a ratchet on, I'm just doing them with a screwdriver fitting. How does that feel? Pretty good. Getting exciting. Right, so the 10mm needs nipping up a little bit. That doesn't feel very good. Nope, that doesn't feel very good at all. Looks a little high there, doesn't it? That might be better. Can't make up my mind about that. Should be in line. Is it just being difficult, or is it going to mess up? I think it's okay. Okay. And then I'll just do the pump bolts. Some excess grease there. Pump bolts. Just chip there up. Up and torque them. They're all up now, I think. They're just all for the diesel pump, those three. That looks like it's through enough. Feels like there's no gap. So now we need to get the torque wrench, check out the torque settings and tighten those up. Right, water pump housing is all on and torqued up now. I've done the bigger bolts, 13mm heads, about 28 Newton meters. Some people say 25, some people say 30. So I done it 28, and that's the minimum on my torque wrench anyway. And the little tiny one, the one with the 10mm head, I've just done hand tight. Not over tight, but tight enough. So now we're going to put the belt on and then the tensioner. Extension bar on. Okay, and now we're going to torque it 35 Newton meters. Appears to be the setting. It's quoted on the internet.
have to do 2 clicks. 3 for good measure. That should be 35 Newton meters. And it's free. That's good. So that's that. We're going to put the tensioner on. I'll put it on just loosely for now. I'm not really sure how this is going to go. It might be better from underneath. Okay, that's on. We can still move. Do it a bit looser. There we go. So we can still move that. Okay, we need to put the pulley on for the pump, diesel pump. Okay, and the washer. So we can get the belt on. Threads don't go right through that, so we've got that, so we can put the belt round and still spin it. That's good. We need to put the belt on. I can remember how this goes on. So we need to get the arrows going the right way. So that's pointing forward. We've got 2 timing marks, find those. So they need to be on there. Right, I'm going for this timing mark on here first. So that's the cam. That's the belt on the cam pulley. Then we need to go around the water pump. So push it on all the teeth. Keep it in place. On the cam pulley. Go around there. That needs to go back on itself onto the diesel pump. And back down. Can't see what I'm doing because my hand's in the way. Go on the other side of that. I'm assuming. Has it gone on the other side of that? It goes on the other side of that. That's that, and then down that way. That's the locking pin. It was still on at the top. No, it's moved. Feed that round.
It's going to the other side of the tensioner, like that. Still on at the top, yes. Okay, and down to the bottom. And what are we doing down here? Right, okay, where's the timing mark gone? This is a problem, isn't it? You can't say, there it is. So that needs to be on that tooth. On there. And that wants to be on the other side of there. And we've come off at the top. Right, I'm going to have to look at how I'm doing this because I'm making a mess of it. Right, I can pause while I get this set up. Okay, this is where we're at. I've torqued up the diesel pump lock-in nut for the pulley, 90 Newton meters. This is all freely available on the internet. Tensioner, idler pulley, 35 Newton meters. Not touched this one, so we don't need to bother with that. And at the moment I've not torqued up the tensioner because I've over tightened it, because we're going to turn the engine over 8 times with the pins out to get the belt all settled in, and then we'll tension it properly. Because as you can see, the belt now is overhanging here on that one, it's that way on that one. When you wind it over, it centralizes itself on all the pulleys, and if you can imagine, that will make it go slack a little bit. So that's why you over tighten it, to allow for the little bit of slack as everything pulls back into center, and then we'll retension it properly when we've done that. Okay, so timing marks are in line, and the in line at the bottom as well. So I'm going to take the pins out now and wind it on the crank by hand. Okay, so here's my problem. Well, I think it's a problem. Obviously the belt's got to settle in and run through. Now it's all been put back together. And there's going to be a little bit of movement, I would have thought. However, as you can see, this belt is not centralising on here, as is the diesel pulley. And at the bottom, can you see down there? It's pretty awkward. Right, yeah, some of the pulleys, including the crank down there, the belt's not central on it. And although I've got the tension set right now in the midpoint on the little dimple, I'm a bit concerned that it's going to ride off. So I wound it goodness knows how many times, probably 30 times or more round, and I'm just hoping it'll centralise. So that's what I'm up to. Okay, continuing from before when I said this was riding off, I tried to turn the engine over on the battery maybe twice. It only ran for probably 3 seconds each time, but it definitely was working its way off all the pulleys, and I don't really understand why. So I've just took the belt off, I retimed it, put the pins back in, took the tension off, took the belt off, checked everything's free, there's no pulleys or pump seized or any problems like that, nothing. So a tip to get this back on again is obviously get it on at the bottom, and I've wedged it with a piece of tissue to stop it dropping off the bottom pulley, the timing pulley on the crank. Get it around everything else, and then obviously you want to get this timing mark lined up. So get this timing mark lined up and get the belt on a little bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch, 5mm, something like that, and then try and get it over the water pump pulley, because the pulley's there, it's got like a rounded shoulder on it, and if this is on like this you won't get it on because the belt's too short. You try to push it over and it won't go. But if you bring that to the edge but in time on the mark, I've just pushed that on and it wasn't hard really at all. So there's a bit of a tip for you. So I'm hoping I'm going to push it all back on again, get it all in line, centralised on the pulleys, and see what happens after I've tensioned it again. But yeah, it's very weird. All new stuff. If you see there, it goes up against that face, so that will stop the belt moving off out of line when that's on too. So I've turned it 8 times, rolling time. I've set the tensioner back to midpoint now, so yeah, I'm going to just start seeing if I can put it back together. Okay, covers back on. The engine's still down on the jack, but I've got the air compressor, AC compressor back on. That's 25 newtons per bolt. I've got the big pulley on the crank. They were 30 newtons per bolt, and I've got the tensioner and the pulley for the auxiliary or serpentine belt, and they were 25 newtons per bolt. So they're on. Now it's time to put the belts on. Yeah, so the old, I'm going to do the serpentine one first. That's the new one. Nice texture to it, got a bit of a contour, like bobbly texture. It's all nice new tight. That's the one that I took off. You can see it's been wearing on the edge, and it's shiny, and there's no text on it at all. So I've had to just compare sizes with the one. I ordered a few different ones because it was listing about 4 different belts for this. That's a stretchy fit 903. That's the same as the one that came off, but again in much better condition. Gates belt. So I'm going to put those on now. So with the serpentine, I'll have to, I think it's a 15mm, I'll have to pull the tensioner off when I get the belt round, and then put the belt through, and then put the tension back on. There's no direction, I don't think, on V belts. It doesn't matter so much. Oh, there's some text there, I've just seen it. There's no direction on toothed belts like the timing belts. I think there's a direction because I think the teeth are slightly different profiles on the leading edge and the trailing edge. I think that's what matters, but I could be wrong. But on V belts, obviously, it's that's interesting. On V belts, it's just continuous all the way through. So I'm going to get them on now. I'll come back to you. Back under the van. Compressor belt is back on. The thing to do with that is to get it on here first, the big pulley, get it on the leading edge here, the top edge, and rotate the engine clockwise as you have been doing. And as you're doing that, hold it on here, but with the hand that you're tightening, turning that with, keep it on this because it tries to come off, and get it onto the outside edge first. And then when you're on the outside edge, keep doing what you're doing, and then the top one will start riding over then onto that one. Again, keep pulling this back into the teeth, and then it'll just pop on as you keep turning it. And before that, you've got to get that one on, which is fairly easy. I actually forgot how it went on, and luckily I've got a Haynes manual on my phone, and I managed to get it on there and just verify where it went. If you pull the tensioner right down, you will get it on. It goes under the top idle pulley and over the tension pulley. so it's quite easy to get on that one when you think about it. So now I'm going to lift the engine back up on the jack, refasten the mounting bolts, and go from there. Okay, I've just lifted up the engine, tightened up the engine mount bolts. They are between 90 and 100 Newton meters. I don't know why there's a variance, but I've done them about 98 or something. Don't forget, we've done all this without taking out the coolant or the power steering bottle. We have took out the washer bottle, just so you can get your hand around the back there to help with that. Engine mount stayed in, just because you never know with these studs if they're going to come out easy or not, shear off. So what we've got to do is put the pipe back on down there with the new Jubilee clips. We've got to put the coolant hose back on the bottom of the radiator with the new Jubilee clip, and I've got to now go and change my pink fluid for yellow fluid, because although that looks pink, it's yellow that came out. And then obviously that's a similar height to that. I think it's not far off maximum, that. But anyway, I'll watch for it coming out of here, and then I'll close that off tight, just finger tight, don't go crazy, it's only plastic. And then we'll see where we are here, and then I'll run it with the cap off till it gets up to temperature. Check you're getting hot air blowing inside, and just keep an eye on this. Might have to put some more in that, and the thermostat opens, and then we should be good. I decided to flush it again just with some water, and it's a bit better now. So yeah, I think we flushed it twice. I haven't got any special chemical flush, you see, so I think we'll say that that's diluted down now. It's washed any of the old out. I don't know if there's any silt still in there. And maybe next time I do it, I'll do a flush properly with some stuff. But I think we're going to backfill it now with the new pink.